This is a hierarchical thing. I can come in, take this from Goose if I want. I can come in, take this from Grizz if I want. Neither one of them are going to challenge me over it. But if Grizz gets near Goose, there's a consequence. But Goose can come take it from Grizz. He's not going to challenge her over it. He's not going to try to discipline her for coming to take his bone. You know, these people telling me, oh, your advice is dangerous. You can get people bit. No, if you do this correctly, you don't have anything to worry about because we're talking about respect, not fear. So you want to teach your dogs how to share, right? Because they will compete, especially in such tight quarters, right? They're going to attempt to monopolize the food. They're going to attempt to compete for, you know, the bigger one, what have you. But if you, as long as you control the food, and each one of them knows that we can't play these games, right, Goose? Okay, direct her to hers. He's got his, she's got hers. I'm in control of this entire situation. So there will be no issues between the two of them eating these bones, eating these ribs. Right? These are the things you can do when you control the food and both dogs know it. You can have them eat very close to each other, especially in activity like this, and there's not going to be any issues. Right? They're not going to growl at each other. They're not going to try to take each other's food. They're not going to steal food from one another. It's not going to be a problem. These are the things people constantly tell me that I don't know shit about resource guarding. See, just like that. These issues aren't hard to solve, people. Right? Now, Chris didn't have an issue with me telling him, no, that's not his. Right? This one's for you, Goose. Yeah. She'll eat it eventually. She does this sometimes where she'll just kind of hang out. But I'm not going to let her take Grizz's, and I'm not going to let Grizz take hers. You have to structure these things correctly so that the dogs don't fight over these things. They don't challenge you over these things. This is how we avoid problems. And then you can have the dogs enjoy something like a beef rib in very close proximity, and there aren't any issues. There's no territorial, they're not going to battle for control over the food. Right? Because I control the food. I could take it away whenever I want. And especially if at any point they do something that would lead me to conclude they don't deserve to have it, then I'll take it away. But that's not going to be the case because both of these two do very well. Eating, chewing on things near each other. You know, Goose sometimes likes to try to steal shit from Grizz, but I don't let her do it. You know, if Grizz has something, I get involved and tell her, just let him have it, right? You have to be the one in control of these dynamics, right? You're at the top of the hierarchy. I know people don't like, they hate it. They hate it. I love how much they hate it, but it's true. You establish yourself at the top, you control everything, and you don't have these problems. And as predicted, or as I stated in the first part, Goose is now eating her bone. Grizz is eating his bone. We have no issues. I don't know if you've seen a couple of my other videos, especially recently. You know, I've included clips of, say, my previous two dogs, and they're eating very close to one another, chewing on beef ribs or chewing on, you know, something food related that they can chew on, and there's no issue, right? So this is what it should look like when you establish a dominance hierarchy with you at the top correctly, where you're setting the boundaries and making the rules for both of the dogs, especially around the food. and both dogs know you control these things and you could take them away whenever you want, you can have peace and quiet and harmony in such tight spaces, with both dogs being able to enjoy something like a beef rib, and there's no issue, right? So we prevent these things by understanding the social nature of a dog. And so you can replicate this from dog to dog to dog to dog. That's the true test, right? Of your knowledge. If you can replicate it from dog to dog to dog to dog. I can replicate this from dog to dog to dog. So this is what it should look like. Point something out here too. See, Grizz is done with his, but he's showing Goose respect by not getting near her. And you see, she's even interpreting him, and he's not trying to get near her to take it, but she was basically saying, hey, you come any closer, we're gonna have a problem. Grizz is respecting that. He's giving her space. He's not going to attempt to take it from her or challenge her for it. Right? He probably won't even want to get close enough to get his bone, because the consequences are, he doesn't want the consequence from Goose. So I will get it for him. Right? It's all in the details, right? But you see, this is a type of social interaction, whether we acknowledge it or not. But I will, go back maybe 15, 20 seconds, and you see how when Grizz, he was not trying to go get it, but he got a little bit closer to her, and she stopped, and she gave it, she was like, don't come near me. But Grizz is not going to. Grizz knows what happens if he gets too close to Goose when she has food. For those of you who want to go on and on about how, dog will only bite out of fear, and dog will only protect their food out of fear. No, this is a respect thing. If Grizz got near Goose when she has her food, she will discipline him. She's not going to bite him, but she will let him know that this is not acceptable. Back off my shit. A respect thing. It's not fear. I don't know why people confuse respect for fear or fear for respect. Doesn't make sense to me. But you listen, this is a hierarchical thing. I can come in, take this from Goose if I want. I can come in, take this from Grizz if I want. Neither one of them are going to challenge me over it. But if Grizz gets near Goose, there's a consequence. But Goose can come take it from Grizz. He's not going to challenge her over it. He's not going to try to discipline her for coming to take his bone. I've seen it so many fucking times. This is a dominance hierarchy, and this is all taking place right now. It is in action. I don't know how much clearer I can make it. Right now, you see this? I opened the door. Grizz, to get around Goose, he went on the bed to jump to get out of the room. That's how much space he wanted to give Goose. It's not out of fear, it's out of respect, right? And you see how he won't even, he's not going to challenge Goose. He's hesitant to even come in the room, even though I told him he can come in here. Right? Grizz is not afraid. He's just respectful because Goose is the more dominant dog between the two of them. Right? But again, I'm the more dominant one of the three of us. So Goose is not going to challenge me for the rib. And that's how it should be. These people telling me, your advice is dangerous, you can get people bit. No, if you do this correctly, you don't have anything to worry about. Because we're talking about respect, not fear. And then, of course, the final demonstration, which is I told Grizz he could come stay here, very close to Goose while she's eating, because any display of Goose saying he can't be here, I will override. Right? And everybody is relaxing, enjoying themselves, and at peace, which is how it should be.